Every time I hear that music, it just makes me think it's the mummy. I know I said that before in the last video, but my God, just hearing that score is awesome. Hearing, it feels like a mummy movie. This feels like a mummy movie. And God, this movie is this show is reigniting my love for archaeology like movies, like adventure, like Indiana Jones and the Mummy, obviously. Like people like finding clues to go to like a city of gold or like an archaeological dig to like something that is, as Indiana Jones put it, fortune and glory. Like I miss movies about people finding clues to a hidden temple or tomb or something to seek either power or to seek like some great find or gold. I love those types of movies, and this show is reigniting my love for that. That makes me want to watch like Indiana Jones movies again and watch the Mummy films also again. Yes, including the third one. uh, Salutations, everyone. I'm Yurikoshi, and welcome back to more reviews of the show Moon Knight. And I'm liking it a lot. I'm really digging this show a lot. I really am. This show is already really picking up speed and keeping my interest. I really do like that. I love this episode's pretty good. I love this episode. This episode show is like really picking things up, which makes me wonder, damn, we're already at a point where the heroes are down on their luck already. Like it's the third episode and this is a 6 episode show, so we're really picking things up, which is pretty interesting. I like that. Like this show is so far showing no signs of slowing down, and I am liking that a lot in the story. I do love we're getting more character development between Mark, Steven, Khonshu, and also now Layla, which now we're having more mysteries. Like even though a lot of questions have been answered, there's still some hidden, and there's also something else that is really interesting to find out, that there's a secret that Mark is hiding from Layla, which I'm like, oh, what's gonna happen there? Like I feel like I know what he's gonna say. Like I'm pretty sure I know, but I'm not gonna say what yet because it's I don't want to make myself look like an idiot to know what it is. I mean, like, did Mark do something wrong that involved Layla's father? Is there something that he's keeping hidden from his past that he wishes that he doesn't want the person that he is in love with to see him differently? And I'm pretty like thinking like, oh shit, it's gotta be something personal to her that she cares about that makes her sad. Like I'm pretty sure there's something there that Mark did to her that he wanted to that keep in the grave probably. But there are interesting stuff happening in Moon Knight that I like. We are finally giving a perspective of Mark more than Steven. I mean, we've been like already have to endure 2 episodes of Steven already. It's time to give Mark some screen time. And the serious tone for the show really comes in more without Steve when Steven is like less active in this episode. Like this show gets really more tenser, more drama in this show than just played out like little comedy. I mean, the comedy bits are there but scarce. And of course, Steven is like a little kooky, like kind of comic relief type of character. And you would think like, oh, Steven's just a worthless like personality that Mark has, but no. Uh, and it doesn't come out of nowhere. You know that Steven is very passionate about his love for like the Egyptian gods and all the archaeological digs that he talks about in the museum that because we've seen that he wished to be like a tour guide to talk about the history of all these gods and everything, and you see that, but he's stuck being a guy who works at a gift shop, sadly. And seeing Steven like make like a shift turn that I liked was to develop the characters more. Is like you see Mark does not like to be with Steven. You see that he just really wants his life back or get over with Khonshu's like quest to stop Ethan Hawke's character from summoning Ammit from her tomb. And you see a lot of like more pain from Mark and also a lot of pain from Steven. And I love that we get a different perspective where Mark is trying to complete his mission, while we also get like a different side where it's like instead of Steven waking up to seeing like a bunch of bodies he killed, you get to see Mark try to stop these guys and try to get answers from them, but ends up seeing a reflection from the blade after he was about to almost like possibly cut someone's throat if they didn't tell him about where is Ammit's tomb. And he sees Steven in the reflection of the blade, and then Steven's like takes over the body, and then Mark wakes up like, fuck, he's taking a cab to go to the airport. And then, out of coincidence, he finds the same guys that he beat the shit out of. And he's like, oh shit. And then he goes, he's like, huh, what coincidence. And tries to take the guys, but then suddenly he sees Steven again in a reflection. But it's the scary thing that happened that I felt like that happened in the episode is that like Mark wakes up to see people slashed, cut, murdered, stabbed, their throats slit, broken bones. Like, Jesus Christ, it was so violent. I was like, well, fuck, this show is really, really trying to be violent. If this was a Netflix made Marvel show, like in the same vein as Daredevil, Punisher, Luke Cage, and Jessica Jones. Iron Fist kind of was a tame, dumbed down version. I didn't see nothing violent about that one, but it was like it would have been more gorier than what this show's doing. But oh, I wish it was kind of like the same vein as that, but you know, we're not so lucky. And it's like Mark's like, what did you do, Steven? And Steven's like, I done nothing. And it's like scary thinking, oh shit, there must be a third personality that's in Mark that they don't know about. And that sounds like very scary right now. I'm not kidding. It sounds completely disturbing, wondering like, oh shit, what's in there that they don't know about that could possibly fuck them up. But anyway, when I was talking about like Steven wants to go home, he doesn't want to be a part of what Mark's doing because he doesn't like the violence. He doesn't like the trying to attack people and hurt them. He doesn't want to do that. And you could tell he tries to do that as Mr. Knight, but that got his ass stabbed a bunch of times in this episode. But I said that Steven has shown his usefulness, that he's not a pointless character. You see that Mark and Layla are not experts at the whole, like, how do we figure out how to find the tomb, or how we got to find this other place that we have to go to. And Mark's the only one that knows about, like, the constellations and, like, this puzzle piece, this clue that they're supposed to go to find the to find where they need to go. And Mark is reluctant, thinking like, shit, I gotta give Steven the body. But Steven seems like he is in love with actually having that purpose to do something that isn't useless, like going to a fucking gift shop and just working at it and selling useless junk. He looks like he's excited. He's like, first from fear of like, I don't like this, to like, wow, I'm experiencing all these things I thought I would never get to see in real life. Like, Steven is just like in wow and wonderment. And he starts to show he's actually pretty good at helping others to know what to do. I mean, I would say, like, why doesn't Khonshu know about this, or helpful? Why does he not know about the clue? Could he not solve it himself? I guess not. I guess he wasn't knowledgeable of it. And when Steven shows his usefulness, Khonshu looks like he's kind of warming up to Steven, like, you know what? I was wrong about this idiot, sorta. So I'm gonna just go and like, fine, here, I will help you on your journey, which I found pretty actually good. I like that. I like that there's development of character in this with Steven, Mark, Khonshu. I love that. It is amazing how I get to see a lot more development of the characters, and you start to wonder about them, which I do like, especially with Mark talking about, like, he had problems with the Steven personality, and he used to know how to control it and try to not let it out, but it sadly got out, which makes me wonder, how does Steven not remember about Mark, or knowing he's a split personality, so to say? I'm curious to wonder, how did Steven came to consciousness and be like, does he remember who he is, or does the memories that he possesses, which are probably fake, that he just randomly came up alive and says like, yep, Steven, and I'm talking to Mark Spector's mother, I guess. I don't know. It's weird. But it's interesting to hear that of Mark's disappearance while he left Layla, which of course he doesn't want Khonshu to take her and make her into the next Avatar, and that he was very protective of her, but also learning that Mark has a dark past that he doesn't like know about, which I'm wondering what could happen in this, which I pretty am excited to figure out what is Mark hiding, which probably is going to be explained either in the next episode or an episode down the line. We don't know. Oh, I did like seeing that the gods also pick an avatar for themselves, but of course I knew the cliche was coming about like, us gods are meant to observe, not interfere in such matters, which kind of sounds similar to the Eternals, where the Eternals are only there to observe, not interfere with human matters. It kind of, which is kind of odd that we got Egyptian gods observing people. We also got the Eternals watching over people. Kind of odd. I swear, it's like Earth is being watched over by so many fucking like beings in the world. Like you got this you got these freaking immortal alien robot things destroying planets. You got Egyptian gods observing the planet as well for different reasons. It's like humans don't get privacy at all. Like they don't get privacy. It's either aliens, gods, most of the freaking like eternal robots. It just the humans don't get a break. They're like, well, we're being watched by a lot of things. You start to think like there's aliens now, gods. Like the Marvel universe is really chaotic. I don't know much about Moon Knight. Again, I know that I didn't get to see any more Easter egg stuff. I was putting off on that because I was busy doing other things. But so far, I am in love with the fights. Despite the CGI suit bothers me a lot of times, I am enjoying the fight scenes in this show. There was one part that got me so amped up is when like he's in the Moon Knight outfit and he's like standing on top of this building or something or the structure, and then there's Mark right there in full beast mode in his like suit, his armor, and then he goes and does a glide and he does like a fucking Batman shot where he jumps off of the structure and he flies and he extends his freaking cape like he's fucking Batman. He's like just and he kicks it too. It was so awesome. I loved it. He just like beating the shit out of these guys, just like because he looks like the way he's fighting reminds me of the fight scene in Batman v Superman, where Batman was beating the shit out of those hired goons that Lex Luthor hired and shit, and he's like beating the shit out of them, breaking their bones, breaking their fucking kneecaps. Like you see Moon Knight just like dislocate this dude's like fucking kneecap, and you see it bent, and he's like but it only goes for a split second, but that split second matters because Jesus Christ, you could see it if you just pause it at the right time. You can see that dude's like fucking leg just folded. Just like shit. Oh my god. And the fun thing I loved was when he takes out his fucking like moon like boomerangs or something. It's kind of like the batarangs in Batman. He just takes them out in the middle of his chest piece and he's like go flown it at like one of the fucking henchmen and just like stabs him. Like, oh my god, it was so cool just seeing him just stab motherfuckers and also using them as like blades, as weapons as well. You see him cutting up dudes left and right. Oh my god, it was so fun. And he gets stabbed by one of the jousting sticks you get like in when you're with the horses, like when you're jousting, he's stabbed with that, but he pulls a guy towards him like a hug, and he gets him like, yeah, well, guess what? Because another guy was about to stab him in the back, and he grabs this guy, puts him against his chest against his, till he gets stabbed through as well. I'm like, nah, motherfucker, you're gonna get stabbed as well. And like, it's oh my god, he was like getting stabbed left and right, but he's like, nope, fuck you, and he's like stabbing all these dudes with broken jousting sticks, and I was like, it was so fucking awesome. I loved it. It reminded me of Batman. It really did. The fight scenes reminded me of Batman a lot, especially that gliding with the cape scene where he's just shot, where he's like, shoo. It was so cool. I was like so like amazed by this. I loved it. Not to say like, like is the action like there's like a pattern with these episodes. There is sadly a pattern to these episodes. Like character like doesn't know what's going on, or like is figuring out stuff like a mystery or something. Character finds out. Character gets encounter with an enemy. Character turns into this this ability that they always do when they're in danger. And then character fights, and then the episode ends. Like, the pattern is a bit bleh, because you start to notice the pattern. It's like character development, solving like a mystery, some story, and then fight scene. Like, that's like, there is like a formula, very formulaic kind of like thing, beats that each episode does, and you kind of start to see it, and I'm like, okay, maybe you should switch it up a bit. And they kind of do in this third episode, which is good. I like that. They really do switch it up a bit. I do love the more dramatic moments in this episode, as well as like learning more about the characters as well. I do love that, especially the gods talking about like Khonshu's methods were very, very unorthodox, which of course, seeing like we got to have the cliche of the council members doing the like, hey, waving our finger because, hey, this man hasn't done anything bad yet, so you can't interfere with him. He has done nothing. We sensed he had no crimes, which is kind of odd. Like, you would think like, wait a minute, how do you know he hasn't done crimes? He's killed people by Amit's judgment. He has taken a scarab to go to Egypt to find, Cairo, to find like Amit's tomb, and you're sensing he hasn't done any bad like things yet. Like, the gods are like, nope, he hasn't done anything bad yet. We're sensing him. We sense no bad vibes from this dude whatsoever. I'm like, huh? How? Oh, is it because he hasn't committed the action yet? Like, he hasn't taken Amit's tomb and summoning her back, and it's not counted yet because he hasn't committed the act already? Which doesn't make fucking sense. Why? He's like, you're just taking the word of this dude like, hey, this dude's insane. I'm using his DID against him. This man's crazy. Like, I'm sorry. He has been bothering me a lot. I feel harassed. I need a restraining order. That's what it sounds like. I was like, what the hell? Oh, but it's something that kind of bothers me in movies or shows about like people don't believe you, and then they're gonna fuck up and they realize, oh my god, what have we done? And then they start to regret it, and then they're gonna have like a scene or something where they would have to apologize that they done wrong, which, God, that hurts that I know this cliche too many times and I don't like I know it. But I'm honestly glad that this show is keeping my interest of what's going to go and happening, because I'm really curious to wonder where the direction's going, because it's like we got like, what, 3 episodes left? And already we lost the power of Khonshu already, and Mark and Steven aren't waking up. And I'm assuming it's because, if I remember correctly, in comics, Mark is dead. like I think if I'm correct, Mark is killed off, but he is brought back to life by Khonshu. So there's a thing. Since Khonshu's gone and left Mark's body, does that mean he's dead? He can't wake up? There's no way he's coming back? Which is kind of odd, saying like, hey, Steven, tell Mark he has to free me. Which I'm wondering, well, how is he gonna free you? These at this point, Steven's gonna wake up dead, and like seriously, it's like how what's gonna happen? Is he gonna be in the afterlife? Is he gonna be in this like the thing he said in the first episode about like leaving your heart behind because they say you need your heart in order to go to the afterlife and everything and to be summoned? Like like is he gonna go to this afterlife and he's gonna be like making the choice of like we gotta go back or something? It's a possibility. Episode 4 could be anything. It could be a story about getting Khonshu back, or it could be an episode where we get a flashback of Mark before he got the ability to become Moon Knight, and maybe there is something that that's gonna happen that we're gonna see. Like we're gonna get some questions answered, because we're technically in the midpoint already of this show. So there is a possibility we're going to get some answers or get a flashback episode or whatever. Who knows? I'm digging this. I'm digging this just for the character development and a lot of the archaeological stuff, which I love. But still don't like Ethan Hawke's villain. I still don't. I really don't. I know I say this in every review I've done of this, but I still don't like him. He's still that cliche cult leader villain that will always say those generic lines, and I knew what he was gonna say after Khonshu got captured. It's like, what you did made me stronger and gave me the reason to help and heal people. And I'm like, God damn it, you're so boring. I'm sorry. I'm yelling a lot at this in this episode. I'm just like, God, I'm tired of Ethan Hawke's character. I maybe people see him, they're like, oh man, he's a pretty good villain. He's playing the role well. I'm like, he's a great actor. I like Ethan Hawke, but dude's done better shit than this. I'm sorry. If I want to see a better performance of a movie that he shouldn't have put his all in, that he took so seriously in the role, I would watch Daybreakers again, and just so I can see him and freaking Green Goblin try to find a cure to help vampires turn back to being human. Yeah, I said it. God. It is interesting. I do like seeing more of Mark. It is pretty cool. Like, Mark is an interesting character about, like, you see through his facial expressions that Oscar Isaac performance is pretty good about him, like, contemplating on his life. Like, you see, like, those little tiny, like, expressions he has, not through dialogue, but through his facial expressions, is like seeing him, especially this one scene about when he's reluctant of turning back and summoning the suit. And he is worried because he sees Layla there, and he's scared of becoming what he views himself as, a monster. Because Ethan Hawke just told Layla something that she didn't know about, and also Mark about a secret that he's hiding. And it is very hard. It's a very troubling scene about seeing him like looking at himself, thinking like contemplating his life, thinking like he wished he wasn't this, like becoming like a tool for killing, basically. And I did like that. Oscar Isaac has done great with this performance. Like the being Steven, being Mark, he does a lot of great job with this performance, especially the one scene I liked where he's Mark and he's telling Steven, okay, you're up. And then once Steven takes control, it becomes hilarious but interesting how he can switch through the characters that perfectly without even a cut, like without even like a seamless cut. Well, no, not a seamless cut, like without any like not a cut. Like it's like, oh, he's just immediately there. He becomes Mark, and then he channels back into that voice of being Steven. He's like, right, jolly good, and then just becomes Steven again. And the funny thing is that you could like I love he does different movements for each character. Like with Mark, he's more like rugged. He's more like tough, no nonsense. Like his stature, his walk, his run, his movements of how he acts and everything. You see it different in the performance where you see Steven where he's more timid, more kind of like shy and kind of wimpy in a way, and you see it in the way how he moves and walks. Like he keeps his like arms together, like nervous, like I don't know what to do, or kind of like that thing, and the way he acts as well. Even the facial expressions change. Like Oscar Isaac has put a lot of care, thought, and preparation for this character. Like this man is doing a good job. It hurts to not. It really hurts to think like, damn, I want him to earn an Emmy for this. Like for real. Like Emmys are TV show Oscar awards, right? If I'm correct. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But like if he doesn't earn an award for his performance in Moon Knight, I'm gonna be mad because dude is really putting his all in his performance. I hate to say it because I'm sorry, Ethan Hawke, great actor, but Oscar Isaac is like outshining him a lot. Like Oscar Isaac is doing well in this performance, and hate to say it, also kind of better with what he's doing with this character more than how James McAvoy did when he was in the movie Split with where Split did the multiple personality disorder thing. I like this one better in my opinion because you see more pain in this character with the different two dual personalities. You see the more pain, the struggle of it, while in Split it just looked like James McAvoy is playing different characters in every scene he's in, which, you know, it wasn't bad. I think it's directed and handled better here in Moon Knight. It's in my opinion. I think it was pretty good. I mean, there's not much I could say about this episode. It's I'm going on rambling about it that it's almost going to be the length of the actual episode. But, you know, I'm enjoying Moon Knight so far, but what do you guys think? Is Moon Knight grabbing you, or is it not how you expected it to be and you're getting bored of it? Me, I'm getting fully invested in it. I freaking love this show already. And if you're a fan of the comic, I really like to know your opinion about this show. Because again, I know the character is different in this than in the actual comic. Where in the comic, he's more of a Batman-like character than this. But I think the show is still showing those Batman mannerisms in there that are pretty cool. That they peek out in this show, which I like. So What do you think? I'm enjoying it so far. I'm still not giving a score because, again, I'm not gonna rate this show until I see the full product. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao, darlings, and remember, you are loved.
Ow, ow, ow! Ow! Ow!